Have you ever felt like your family was hiding something from you? Like there was a secret buried so deep it was never meant to be uncovered? This is the story of Emily, a young woman who discovered something in her childhood home that changed everything she thought she knew about her family. And to this day, she still doesn't have all the answers. Emily grew up in a quiet suburban neighborhood in a house that had been in her family for generations. It was one of those old, creaky homes with a history that seemed to seep through the walls. Her parents rarely talked about the past, and whenever Emily asked about her grandparents or great-grandparents, they'd quickly change the subject. But when her parents passed away unexpectedly, Emily was left to clean out the house. And that's when she found the letters. It started in the attic. Emily had always been afraid of that attic as a kid. It was dark, dusty, and filled with old furniture covered in white sheets. But as she sorted through her parents' belongings, she noticed a small, locked trunk tucked away in the corner. The lock was rusted, and with a little force, it broke open. Inside, she found a stack of yellowed letters, tied together with a frayed ribbon. The letters were addressed to her great-grandmother, written in a shaky, almost frantic handwriting. At first, Emily thought they were just old love letters, but as she started reading, her stomach dropped. The letters were filled with warnings about someone in the family, phrases like, "He's not who you think he is," and "You need to leave before it's too late," were scrawled across the pages. And then there was one line that sent chills down her spine. What happened to Sarah wasn't an accident. Emily had never heard of anyone named Sarah in her family. But as she kept reading, the letters became more disturbing. They mentioned a hidden room in the house, a place where he used to take people. Emily's hands were shaking as she put the letters down. She didn't want to believe it, but she couldn't ignore the sinking feeling in her chest. That's when she heard it, a faint whisper coming from somewhere in the attic. At first, she thought it was her imagination, but then she heard it again, a soft, almost inaudible voice saying her name. "Emily!" She froze, her heart pounding in her ears. The attic was empty, or at least it should have been. But as she turned around, she saw something that made her blood run cold. A shadow moved across the wall, just out of the corner of her eye. And then, the sound of footsteps, slow, deliberate, and coming closer. Emily didn't wait to see what was making those sounds. She grabbed the letters and ran downstairs, slamming the attic door behind her. She spent the rest of the day researching her family history, trying to find out who Sarah was. But there was no record of her. No photos, no birth certificates, nothing. It was like she had been erased from existence. That night, Emily couldn't sleep. She kept hearing noises, footsteps in the hallway, whispers outside her door. And then, around 3 a.m., she saw it. A figure standing at the end of her bed, just watching her. She couldn't make out its face, but she could feel its presence, cold and heavy in the air. She screamed, and the figure vanished. But when she turned on the light, she found something on her nightstand. A single letter, written in the same shaky handwriting as the others. It said, "You shouldn't have opened the trunk." Emily moved out of the house the next day. She tried to sell it, but no one would buy it. The realtor told her there were too many bad vibes. To this day, Emily still doesn't know who Sarah was or what happened to her. But sometimes late at night, she'll get a call from an unknown number. When she answers, there's nothing but silence and the faint sound of someone whispering her name. And the worst part? Emily swears she can still hear footsteps in the attic of her new apartment. like whatever was in that house followed her. Sometimes the past doesn't stay buried, and sometimes the secrets we uncover us.